All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, I've had a few people ask me questions about if I'm still running shirking heals, what I'm looking at for my build. I posted a meme kind of talking about season 4. I wanted to talk a little bit about that in this video, kind of talk to you guys about what I'm looking at. As I said before, I'm not making any substantial changes. If I get stuff for free or for super cheap, I might test something out, but I'm not investing a lot of gold into anything until the patch goes live, because significant patch changes can still happen. And so I wanted to show you guys what I'm looking at so you guys can kind of have an idea. Maybe you farm a piece and it has it on there and you're like, okay, that sounds good. I agree with this. I'm going to run it. So that's what this video is. It's just kind of, it's been a few weeks, things have changed, and I've made adjustments. So let's dive into it. As you guys know, in the last video, I was running medium. I was running a medium spec with tumbler feet wraps, and it's still good. Medium with tumbler feet wraps is still nice. I was noticing at times in some fights, even though both shirking heals and tumbler feet wraps were off of cooldown, I was only getting one of them to proc. So sometimes I get the shirking heals proc, and then sometimes I get the tumbler feet wrap proc. And yeah, I'm running stamina recovery, and I have hardy on, and I can get 3 dodges right away. But you don't want to have to drain dodges to proc 2 different conditions when they should be procking off the same condition, right? So sometimes I would get the heal, which was nice, and I wouldn't get the fortify, which I was really looking forward to, or the damage in order to, you know, stack mitigation so I could stay in a fight. And so it just felt like the synergy was a little off, and I was getting a little annoyed with it. And they made an adjustment to shirking heals again, increasing the cooldown by 10 seconds. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to have substantially less healing, which is fine. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not complaining. We don't complain, guys. We adjust. And if you're not going to have as much self heals coming in, which is, you know, I don't normally run with a healer in OPRs, and I try to self sustain as much as possible. I'd rather 1vx. I'd rather play with a small group. Running without a healer, I just find it more enjoyable. We have to find other ways to survive. And the way I found to survive was to stack more mitigation. Now, your overall survival is a combination of your ability to dodge incoming attacks or avoid them, your ability to mitigate incoming damage, and your ability to self-heal. And if they're going to reduce your self-healing, stacking mitigation makes sense so that you can survive in similar ways. And so this is just a desperation thing. I was like, oh, I'm curious how Void Darkplate and Heavy was going to look. Like I'm running Finisher. I get 15% more damage here. How much is a 10% damage loss going to impact me? That's basically how I was looking at it. I just tested it. And I had everything ready to upgrade my tumbler feet wraps. I PvP'd with this for an hour in Heavy, and it felt so much better. I upgraded my Void Darkplate instead. And I was just like, okay, and it makes sense, right? There's a lot of AoE damage. There's a lot of things like you sometimes you get stuck in a grav well, sometimes you're stuck on the ground, you're CC'd, you're staggered, whatever. Sometimes you get caught in fights as a melee that you can't really avoid. And because we're running Finisher, because we have that 15% supplemental damage, we can get away with running this much Heavy, in my opinion. And I haven't really noticed a huge difference in my damage being lost. Because I'm tankier, I stay on the attack bar longer, and a lot of that like supplements the overall individual damage that I may be losing. And so I like Void Darkplate. I like it. As far as the other pieces go, I'll still be farming and trying to get the named pieces. I have to get 1, 2, 3 of them back. And so I did get the pants. I posted this on my channel on the community section, but they now come with specialty weapon slots. I didn't upgrade these. I picked these up off the PvP track like this. So as it stands right now, on November 19th of 2023, before any future shirking heals changes, next patch, if nothing else is substantially different, I will be running health, shirking heals, and probably shirking fortification with my weapon perks. I've been trying leeching cyclone. It's okay. I like bleed sweep better. I like running sweep because the bleed on bleed sweep, especially versus a few people, stacks my heart rune faster. I'm running mending form. And so although this is nice, although your leeching cyclone heals you, and if you hit a few people, it's a substantial heal and everything. I love hitting a perforate into a cyclone. I do think that that's quite nice. Having grid on both of them is also nice to just finish those kills. The quick kill activation is nice. I do like that over bleed sweep, but the survival running bleed sweep and the damage is better. Both of them are better, because you're stacking heart runes more, you're stacking more damage over time effects, you're having better we still have really good uptime on our finisher, but another bleed isn't a bad thing. And so having even better uptime with finisher is good. And so I think bleed sweep is just the way to go. And so ideally I would run skewer, I'd run fortifying perforate, and then I would run bleed sweep. So I'll probably switch these over to bleed sweep. The helmet or gloves or whatever, I'll switch over to fortifying perforate just to stack more mitigation on top of it. And then I'll probably run shirking fortification on the other two pieces. Now, I do have these stone soul boots that came with health and shirking fortification. And so I can switch the third perk here to shirking heals. So I know I want to run 2 shirking forts, and so I do have this option. This is available in the kiln for free. I just have it there as a backup plan. Currently these are medium. I don't have the heavy gloves yet, and so ideally I would want 5 heavy. I have 4 heavy, but yeah, it's really good. Health, shirking heals, shirking fort on 2 pieces, bleed sweep on 1, and then perforate on the other. As far as finisher goes, you get the main perks. I do have a split gem on here. Thrust damage just benefits from split gems just because people are building so much thrust mitigation. You're not hard countered as much. I have keen speed on the other piece. The way I run this build, finisher is more rapier is my defensive back bar weapon. It allows me to run keen speed. If I hit a riposte and then I flesh through 2 or 3 people, more often than not, I proc keen speed. It allows me to disengage from a fight if I have to, if I really get piled on. I even activate it sometimes when I'm chasing one person. You hit a couple light attacks, you proc keen speed, they're trying to run away. That just gives you that little extra haste in order to chase people down. It's quite nice. I'm not running this offensive. If you're running it offensive, you'd run separate perks. Now, I've been farming the life ring spear because I wanted to run keenly jagged and vicious because I like the rend, the heavy attack, the other one that I've run, the syncretic spear. And I've shown you guys that the syncretic spear is not bad. This is not a bad one, trenchant rend. The thing is without coup de grace, I'm not really doing too many heavy melee attacks. I just do a lot of pokey pokes because everything comes off of cooldown so quickly on spear. I just activate more skills than I'm winding up heavy attacks. And so this is good for coup de grace or bleed sweep. But if you're not running that and you're running perforate, or if you're going to run vault kick or you're going to run another skill, I think life's ring spear is just a little bit better. And so I farmed this. I wanted to try the difference. And yeah, in an ideal world, I'd get a spear crafted that would have enfeebling skewer, keenly jagged, and either arboreal attunement, or it'd have like shirking nature. I do think shirking nature for how I play will be the best, but I haven't tested it yet to confirm. But yeah, those are the options you could choose. But enfeebling skewer is quite nice. It's a lot of mitigation. You stack it with fortifying perforate. You stack it with you stack it with the dots from bleed sweep and keenly jagged and skewer, and like you have something that is quite formidable. Jewelry. I'm currently running Ankh. Next patch, I will be running Ocean's Peace. Ocean's Peace is the new earring. I will do an entire video discussing the overall point on it, but the TLDR for it is, if my math is right, if you're only self-healing and trying to survive, Ocean's Peace will give you more healing than Ankh will. The minute you start getting in fights where you're getting cross heals from healers and everything, Ankh will be better. And so for the vast majority of players, like 70 to 80% of people that aren't running solo, aren't running in non-healer groups, those sorts of things, you're still going to run Ankh. It's still going to be the way to go. This makes you so incredibly tanky. As a frontline player, medium, light, heavy, you feel almost immortal, especially when you're running like enfeebling skewer and stuff like that. And you have cross heals coming in, they're just amplified by Ankh. It's so powerful. So for me, I'll be running Ocean's Peace. I will be taking Ankh off, but yeah, the minute I run with the healer, I'll put Ankh on. The other thing with Ocean's Peace, is I can probably take off stamina recovery, and would, due to my crit chance and everything anyways, I was considering taking off stamina recovery, but I know I'm very confident that I'll probably just run like health, divine, and thrust protection, or I'll run health, divine, and that other one, the 10% increased healing. I can't remember the name of the perk, but I'll look at those. I might still run stamina recovery, but those are the perks that I'm looking at. I also could potentially take off hardy. We'll have to test, but because we're getting 2 stamina every second, I might be able to take off hardy. And if I can run like purifying heart rune, what's it called? Purifying heart, when you activate your heart rune, it purges all dots off of you. I'll be stacking heart runes so much, and the fact that I can then purge everything off me and then have those hots cooking even more, it'll just boost my survival quite a bit. I'd still run thrust, I'd still run leeching. I also considered, like, if you could somehow run bloodletting as well, like that wouldn't be a bad option. I'm looking at other options. That's why Ocean's Peace is such an interesting choice, because it gives you that other supplemental things that maybe just the generic best in slot ring, it might not be best in slot anymore. You might be able to actually fit something else and get a little bit more out of your build in some other places. But it's not on the PTR right now. I can't test it, but Soul Pollen will be fine. The earring I'm running right now with Ankh is still what I talked about before: Healthy Toast, Healing Heart, and Regenerating. I think these are the 3 best perks. I think this is better than getting health. I think Healthy Toast is great. I don't think Refreshing Toast is that good. I think Healing Heart is better. You can really survive severely outnumbered. You can bait some people into going full offensive. You can pop your Healing Heart and then heal it. If you do it right, this almost functions like a full reset. Like, that's how powerful Healing Heart is, in my opinion. And so if Healing Heart is that powerful, I would think that the Purifying one would also be pretty powerful. But the Ocean's Peace amulet is that it gives you the 2% health recovery. It also comes with Healing Heart, and then the final perk I'd put Regenerating on. It'll be taking Healthy Toast off. If my math is correct, and I'll do an entire video talking about it, it's still better. It's still going to be better. And so those are your choices. If we go into our character layout, check out the Rapier. I'm not saying this is best, guys. This is just how I have it. You guys can tell me where I'm wrong or where I'm messing things up. I've been bouncing back and forth quite a bit, so I don't know if that's right. And then this is my spear layout. Like I said, I do like Bleed Sweep better. I take these 2 off. I'd add all 3 of these, and then which one would I take off? I'd probably take this one off, the Evasive Maneuvers, and then I'd put the 3rd perk on here. So that's just kind of how I look at it. I'll have to double check to confirm, but yeah, that's my layout there. Food, as far as attributes go, this is how I have it set up. I got 350 dex, I got 244 con, more health. Because I have more health, especially next patch, I'll be able to stack more regenerating. I've seen Craze D, he runs like 300 dex, and then he's able to run 100 strength, and 100 strength perk is nice for the 10% physical damage. I totally get that perspective. I do think that that's good also. With the amount of Magnify that I have, it's easier for me to go 350 and 244. So his might be a little bit better than this, but in my opinion, 350 isn't bad. 15% crit chance while you're empowered. Because you're critting more, you're going to gain more stamina off of your spear. So if we go to Weapon Mastery and we go look at our spear, we have a perk, restore 20 stamina on critical hits. So that's part of the reason why I have it running. I'm not saying it's more damage, but having that stamina to be able to dodge a little bit more, to be able to deal with that, having proccing 20 stamina more often isn't bad. Obviously, crit chance also, you're critting more. We do empower quite a bit, and so we have the 10% empower for 3 seconds after successfully dodging an attack. So it just all kind of coincides, right? So we're dodging. Because we're dodging an attack, we gain 3% empower, or 3 seconds of empower, and then at that point we get 15% more crit chance. It all just kind of adds up. And so this is just what I've been running. This is my preferences so far. And next patch with Ocean's Peace, yeah, I might go back to medium. We'll try light. Eventually I'll get light pieces. I haven't gotten them yet. But yeah, medium or heavy, both work fine. I think both work fine. I think it all comes down to preference. I think it comes down who you're playing with or not playing with. Heavy is an option to consider. Like, you're just a heavy duelist, basically. So yeah, that's the overall setup. If I missed something, let me know in the comment section. But I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.